The United States is often called a melting pot of cultures, and that includes religion, from the earliest Christian settlers, to Jewish communities, to growing populations of Muslims, Hindus, and Buddhists. America's religious story is one of constant change and diversity. But what does the religious landscape of the U.S. look like today? Let's explore the journey of faith in America, from its colonial roots to the present day. Christianity has been a cornerstone of American society since the nation's earliest days. Historians say that European settlers brought their Christian faith to the New World in the 1600s. The Pilgrims and Puritans sought religious freedom in what would become New England, while Spanish missionaries spread Catholicism in the Southwest. Over time, Christianity in America diversified into various branches. Today, records show that Protestantism, with denominations like Baptist, Methodist, and Lutheran, remains the largest Christian group. Catholicism and Orthodox Christianity also have significant followings. According to recent surveys, about 63% of Americans still identify as Christian, making it the dominant religion in the country. While Christianity took root early, Judaism has also played a crucial role in shaping America's religious tapestry. Research indicates that Jewish communities began settling in the American colonies as early as the mid-1600s. New York, then called New Amsterdam, was one of the first places to welcome Jewish settlers. The 19th and 20th centuries saw waves of Jewish immigration, significantly expanding the Jewish presence in America. Today, Judaism represents around 2% of the U.S. population, but its cultural and social impact extends far beyond these numbers. Islam's story in America is equally fascinating. Some historians believe that Islam first arrived on American shores with enslaved Africans in the 1700s. However, larger Muslim communities began forming through immigration in the 20th century. As people from the Middle East, North Africa, and South Asia sought new opportunities in America, they brought their Islamic faith with them. Today, Muslims make up about 1 to 2% of the American population, contributing to the nation's growing religious diversity. Buddhism's journey to America began in the 19th century, primarily through Asian immigration. Chinese and Japanese communities, in particular, brought their Buddhist traditions to American soil. As these communities grew and established themselves, Buddhism began to attract interest from non-Asian Americans as well. Today, Buddhism represents roughly 1% of the U.S. population, but its influence on American culture, from mindfulness practices to dietary trends, is widely recognized. Hinduism, another major world religion, found its way to America primarily through Indian immigration. While there were small numbers of Hindu immigrants in the 19th century, the most significant growth occurred in the 20th century. As India gained independence and U.S. immigration laws changed, more Indian professionals and students came to America, bringing their Hindu faith with them. Today, Hindus make up around 1% of the American population, with vibrant communities in many major cities. Beyond these larger faith traditions, America's religious landscape is dotted with a variety of other beliefs. Sikhism, brought by immigrants from Punjab, India, has established a visible presence. The Baha'i faith, originating in 19th century Persia, has found followers in America. Native American religions, deeply rooted in the land itself, continue to be practiced by indigenous communities. New religious movements and spiritual practices have also emerged, reflecting America's culture of innovation and individualism. While each of these faiths may represent less than 1% of the population individually, together they contribute significantly to America's religious diversity. Perhaps one of the most striking trends in recent decades has been the growth of the religiously unaffiliated. Since the late 20th century, more Americans have begun to identify as atheists, agnostic, or simply nothing in particular when it comes to religion. This group, often referred to as the knowns, has grown rapidly. Current estimates suggest that about 29% of Americans now fall into this category. This shift represents a major change in the American religious landscape, challenging traditional notions of faith and spirituality. So, what does this all mean for America's religious makeup today? Let's break it down. Christianity remains the largest faith group, claiming about 63% of the population. This includes various Protestant denominations, Catholics, and Orthodox Christians. Judaism follows at around 2%, with long-established communities across the country. Islam and Buddhism each represent about 1 to 2% of Americans, reflecting more recent waves of immigration and conversion. Hinduism accounts for roughly 1% of the population, with growing communities in urban and suburban areas. Other religions, while smaller in number, add to the rich tapestry of American faith. And notably, those identifying as religiously unaffiliated now make up about 29% of the population, a significant and growing segment. This diverse religious landscape reflects America's history of immigration, its constitutional protection of religious freedom, and ongoing social changes. From the earliest European settlers to recent immigrants from all corners of the globe, each group has brought its faith traditions, enriching American culture in the process. At the same time, the growth of the religiously unaffiliated points to evolving attitudes towards spirituality and organized religion. It's important to note that these numbers are always in flux. Immigration patterns, birth rates, and changing social attitudes continue to shape America's religious makeup. What remains constant, however, is the nation's commitment to religious pluralism and the freedom to practice or not practice any faith. As we look to the future, America's religious landscape is likely to continue evolving. New immigrant communities may bring different faith traditions, existing religions may adapt to changing social norms, and the conversation around spirituality and belief may take new forms altogether. What is clear is that religion in America has always been and will likely remain a dynamic and diverse aspect of national life. While Christianity remains the largest faith, the growing diversity of beliefs and the rise of the religiously unaffiliated are reshaping the nation's spiritual landscape. This ongoing transformation reflects broader changes in American society, challenging us to consider what role religion will play in the nation's future. As we move forward, understanding and respecting this diversity will be crucial in maintaining America's tradition of religious freedom and pluralism.